You know, if you wanted a really good series, you should have brought him. But we lost him. 1976 or 96. White Palace called me. I know you got to come. Glad he used to. Lacey had lymphomelanoma. There was a mole on his back. The flight surgeon never picked it up. You got a guy that's millions of dollars put into his fighter training and more millions of dollars put into international, and he didn't catch it. Fly to Houston, go in his house, somber, wall-to-wall people. I don't know who these guys are. Sad. Lacey's not there. His wife told me he's inside of bed. Go see him. So I go inside of bed. There he is. Like, there comes Nainoa in a wheelchair. Retained too much fluid to get up. Very sick. But optimistic, laughing. Says, yeah, come over here. I'm going to get through this, and then we'll go back and we'll sit. He says, but get me out of his house. And so, because this place is too depressing for me. So I roll him up to the front door, and then he goes, no, I don't want to go in a wheelchair. I want to walk. I'm a small guy. You heavy guy. So I get him up on my shoulder one arm, and we go outside and walk down the sidewalk. And Lacey's nearly blind. The sidewalk had 2 feet of cement to get the grass and then the road, right? We're going down, we just got past his neighbor's house, and Lacey stepped off the cement, slipped, and fell. So I try to catch him. And so I get underneath him, and he falls on me, and I could barely breathe, and he couldn't stop laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing on earth. We're on the ground, almost on the road. He's laughing his head off, and I'm like gasping for air, and then he just stops. Dead silent. He goes, you hear that? I'm straining here, I can't hear anything. I finally hear this faint noise of a jet engine. And he listens to it, Yep, he tells me the make of the engine and the aircraft. Then he goes, Nainoa, where's Jupiter? So I grab his hand, and know he's going to be blind, and I put it up to the sky, in the area I thought where Jupiter was. He goes, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. And he was so joyous. The problem was daytime. I couldn't see Jupiter. No matter how depressed you are about one situation like today, you do nothing for anyone if you don't have faith, and you don't have hope, and you don't have the ability to get beyond and see further than you can. See things that you can't, but you must. And that's what Lacey brings to today, at the crossroads. That Hawaii needs to be way more powerful than it is now. This is an extraordinary place for us to power ourselves. He would talk about things like, he was well read, that Captain Cook's journal was coming to Hawaii, 800,000 native Hawaiians, 100% sustainable, nothing was brought in, no maps and ships, and the people were strong and intelligent, they were powerful. And yet today, we're just at 1.3 million, not much more than that, and 95% of we consume in fuel is brought in, 90% of what we eat is brought in. And we call this land Nainoa, fat land, because it produced so much food. And yet we're buying it from somebody else, and not for the right reasons. And you would say the economics of the future need to be about the things that empower the beauty and strength of our islands, not diminish them. Because in his mind, if economics diminish what we have, when we diminish it away, we have nothing, including the economics. And so we need the shift. And the thing about Lacey that was so extraordinary to me was he knows technology, but he had this instinct, innate understanding of the human condition. He would say, the thing about Hawaii that's so powerful that many places on earth does not have is is that it has a native culture that is extraordinarily strong. And it has a memory and a story so important in the future. And at the same time, we have this extraordinary blend of all cultures across the earth living in the same place. And in what he said is still a culture that's still kind. And of all the values that Lacey held that's so important to Hawaii, it was that culture of kindness. Stay together. Be good human beings to humankind. And I think he's correct. Next slide. Personal slide I'll leave with you because thank you for coming. It's not an easy one. But many times when we try to come together as a society about the things that we can agree on, what are they? In the complexities and the different sets of values that we live by. My family knows how intense I can be, but I also can be quiet, and they don't know how to help. So they get worried about me weeks after my dad's passing, things aren't getting better. So they call my father's older brother, and he comes over, takes me outside and says, I want to talk to you. And he says, I want to tell you a story of why your father's so special. I want to go way back when he was young, when he was 2 years old.